Hello YouTube, Arrow Assassin here today, and welcome back to another video. And this time I want to talk about some of the new stuff again that is coming out in the expansion. And it looks like Legendaries and Titanforgeing has been brought up, and I wanted to share this with you guys. It wasn't really the whole point of what I was going to show you in this video, but I figured I'd add it too. So, Legendaries. The Legion system is the randomly drops Legendaries will not continue in the Battle of Azeroth. So, the Legendaries, of course, that we are getting now, the insane legendaries and getting them all the time is not continuing in Legion. I mean, Battle for Azeroth. Sorry. Which is pretty good. My thoughts on that is I think it was really annoying and stupid to have. So I feel like that is definitely a good idea not to have that anymore. And I'm really happy about that. And it's gone. I honestly would prefer if they do still have legendaries, which I'm sure they obviously will. But I hope they go back to like the Warlords questing thing or Pandaria's cloak thing. We'll see what happens. I just don't want another thing. Hopefully, like Legion. That was kind of not. It just I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Titanforging, I guess, will also apparently continue in Battle of Azeroth, but it won't be like they said they are considering changing the odds for Warforged and Titanforge, since it feels like all of your gear becomes Warforged or Titanforged very quickly. Then you can only get upgrades from Titanforged pieces, and feels bad. So I just wanted to show you guys this quick thing. If you wanted to see it, it's on, of course, on Wowhead, and yeah. So now on to the main reason for this video. Battle for Azeroth class ability changes on the demo floor. So click this. For those of you that don't know, Blizzard has been on a pruning spree for the past 2 expansions. Of course everybody knows this, but, you know, they said they were bringing back abilities, and I'm interested to see what they're going to do. Obviously, like I said, like this says, the Battle for Azeroth demo is on the shore for allowed players to pick a class of their choice and play through one of the 2 leveling zones or dungeons. This demo also contains some of the changes to class abilities and added or removed abilities to certain classes. Now here's the 3 things. The majority of the changes were to AoE stun abilities and tanks. And talents will be covered in a future post, which I will be glad to do a video on that, so stay tuned for that. A few abilities that were pruned have been re-added to the game, so I'm sure some people will be happy about it. Obviously, they will probably add more. We'll see. And some of the abilities will be important. Some of them I'm kind of like, but whatever. Remember that these characters no longer have artifact weapons, and as such, many of the traits on the weapons will no longer apply. In addition to this preview, every class has received a class raid buff abilities that will affect other players in the group. The demo characters had also gone through a stat squish and had 16k health for non-tanks. We're going back to Burning Crusade all over again. Alright. Now this is important. Please remember that this is an early preview of the expansion, obviously. Through a demo build on the show floor, things will likely change over the development of the expansion, which they obviously will, so please keep that in mind. If you're seeing this in the future, don't get mad at me if they no longer have this. And it's possible we missed some class changes that were on the build. Alright, let's start off with Death Knights. Anti-Magic Shell surrounds you in Anti-Magic Shell for 5 seconds, absorbing up to 8% instead of 30% magic damage and preventing application of harmful magical effects. Which everybody knows about Anti-Magic Shell. New, Death's Advance. For 10 seconds, you cannot be slowed 100% movement speed. You resist forced movement effects 80%. And immune to external knockbacks. Passive, you cannot be slowed below 70% of normal speed, 30-second cooldown. Alright, here's some of the change to Blood, which is the tank spec. Surrounds you with a barrier of whirling bones. It used to reduce all damage you take by 16%, now increases your armor by 10%, and increasing your haste by 10% still. So the only change to that is the armor, and you get, they're taking away the 16% damage reduction. Alright, Demon Hunter. I'm sure this is going to get some eyes on, because Demon Hunter is going to probably change a lot, because considering Legion was the only reason why Demon Hunters kind of existed, and it's going to be kind of like DK. It's like, what are they going to do now with them? At least DK, I guess, still has some story, but Demon Hunter won't really have much of a story, so it'll be kind of interesting where they do with that. Alright. Chaos Nova. Unleash an eruption of fell energy, which is a stunning ability for 5 seconds, which is now gone. You can no longer stun enemies for 5 seconds. Instead, it now deals chaos damage and disorients all nearby enemies for 5 seconds. Damage will cancel the effect. So, this is basically kind of like the Guardian ability that does roar and disorients them. Each enemy disoriented by Chaos Nova has a 50% chance to generate a soul fragment. So, I'm guessing they're doing something with the AoE stuns now. I don't really know. I guess a lot of people, like I said, were complaining about melee, obviously, in Legion. So I guess they're getting their wish with these whole stuns and all that stuff. So it's becoming a disorient. I-Beam. I-Beam is not really getting I guess, changed. Your primary target now also takes 100% increased damage. So I guess this is going to be your main damaging ability, obviously. Alright, Vengeance. Increases your parry by 15% instead of 20%, and reducing your physical damage taken by 12% is gone, and it now increases your armor. And then for 6 seconds, 2 charges didn't get changed, and it now costs 25 pain instead of 20. Mastery. It used to reduce physical damage taken by additional 6%. Now increases your armor by additional percent. I mean, I should just say percent, not 6%, but whatever. Just reading what it said. New, Painbringer. Each soul fragment you consume reduces all damage you take by 5% for 4 seconds. It's passive. Alright, Droid. For those of you that don't know, a long time ago, I think, was it Miss? Or did they remove it in Miss? I think they removed it in Warlords. But we used to have Soothe and Hibernate. Soothe, you could remove warriors and rage and all that stuff. It used to make them pretty mad. So, and Hibernate. Hibernate was a very, very useful ability that a lot of people liked back then, and I was a victim of a lot of it back then, and I admit that, because I was a droid main. Droids were, if you had it on your bars, you could put other droids to sleep and CC them. And it really was a pain in the butt. You could definitely tell back then from the players that were really insanely good at droid by using that ability, and you could tell the ones that didn't have it on their bars. It was just that good of an ability. It was useful, and it was pruned. So that's the thing with the pruning. You remove some of these spells that you think are useless. They were not useless. They put other droids to sleep. Some of them even sometimes they would even win you the games. You put the droid to sleep. What can you do? Goodbye, teammate. So, really excited to see how that works. And if you're a droid, get ready for... Oh, man, that spell. I remember that. It's one of the few I remember. Frenzy Regeneration, 50% of the damage taken in the last 5 seconds. Minimum 5% health. And instead is now 25% maximum health over 5 seconds. 36-second cooldown with... 2 charges, okay. And 10 rage. Iron Fur increases armor by 65% for 7 seconds to 6. Hunter. Tranquilizing Shot is now back, and it removes magic effects and enrage. So, welcome back to Purging as a Hunter. Cobra Shot. A quick shot causing physical damage and reducing the cooldown of kill command by 1 second. Dire Frenzy is now baseline. Dire Beast is now instant. Huh, interesting. Oh, Dire Beast is now a talent. Sorry, I'm blind, okay? Alright. Brain Freeze is now 20% instead of 15. Monk. Leg Sweep is now 3 seconds instead of 5 seconds. And then, Stagger is 20% instead of 40. Paladin. Blessing of Freedom, and now has a 45-second recharge. So, wow, they're really... Red already didn't have the totally best mobility in the game. But, okay, that's gonna really hurt them against mages. Holy crap. Shield of Righteous increases armor by 125% instead of reducing damage by 25%. Call of the Light increases, when it increases the heal based on health. Same for the Hand of Protector. Rogue performs reduces the aerial effect attacks by 40% instead of 50. Grappling Hook is now baseline and 1 minute cooldown instead of 30 seconds. Shuriken combo is now 5% instead of 10. Lightning Surge is now 3 seconds instead of 5. Warlock Hearthstone is now 40% instead of 25. Warrior Battlecry is now renamed to Recklessness because they can't make up their mind on what they want to freaking name warrior abilities anymore. Same for Commanding Shout is Rallying Cry. And then I think it's about the same thing. Like, it does the same thing. Shockwave is now 2 seconds instead of 3. They really are taking a hammer on the freaking AoE stuns. Ignore Pain, which causes, for the next 4 seconds, causing 60% of the damage taken to reduce your rage instead. Shield Wall now lasts 4 seconds instead of 8. What the freaking heck? 4 seconds? That's kind of weak. But, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are. I will see you for the next one, guys.